Began coming into Allied headquarters of a large Iraqi convoy far to the east. The convoy was reported to be on the highway leading out of Kuwait City.
Our first concern was, how do we stop the Iraqis from returning this military equipment to Iraq? So we put airplanes that night in across the highway.
Departure, go 35 out of 1,000 for 4,000.
Pilots were ordered to stop the convoy at all costs. But that wasn't motivation enough. The commander sent the pilots into battle with the latest news report.
That a missile had just hit a barracks in Dhahran, and that 60 or so servicemen were killed. And our mission was to go up and stop the retreating forces as they left Kuwait City. And he said, put some hate in your heart, and he'll be waiting here when we get back. When we took off, we had expected to see convoys leaving Kuwait City, but we weren't prepared for the magnitude, the number of vehicles that were on the ground that we saw when we broke out under the clouds.
The air attack was relentless. Bombs were dropped on the front and rear of the procession, trapping the rest of the vehicles in between.
The headlights all went out, but because of the reflections of the oil fires and the twilight cast by the low clouds, I was able to still see all the vehicles on the road. Could see people jumping out of vehicles, could see doors opening, could see vehicles turning off into the sand, as well as those that we hit with our bombs.
F-15s, B-52s, Harriers, A-6s, and A-10s, every plane available bombed the highway for 2 days straight.
When the pilots came on scene, there were literally thousands upon thousands of vehicles stalled, empty, jammed in this giant. And they turned it into a trash heap.
Pilots called the 3-mile-long stretch of charred bodies and vehicles the highway of death. Initial reports were of tremendous carnage, thousands dead.
And it is 3 miles of the most amazing vehicular carnage you can imagine.
The Iraqi army didn't make a retreat at all. It was a headlong, panicky flight into disaster.
I don't know what the casualty count was there. We never got one, but I would say virtually every Iraq that was in that convoy was killed.
Newspapers called it a turkey shoot. Some even wondered if it was a violation of the Geneva Convention, which forbids killing an enemy clearly trying to surrender.
This was an armed retreat, and when we were bombing, we were receiving constant fire. All types of anti-aircraft artillery, machine guns, and missiles were being shot at us the entire time. This was an armed retreat, not a turkey shoot.
There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of destruction and death. But that's war, and that's what people have to understand.
After the war, Allies counted 1,500 destroyed vehicles on that highway. Only 2% had been armored personnel carriers or tanks. The rest were Kuwaiti cars full of loot. As for the death toll, later estimates showed it to be in the low hundreds, not thousands. At the time, however, it looked like an atrocity.
And there began to develop within the White House a concern about the public relations aspect of this victory. And after there were reports of a so-called highway of death, General Powell and President Bush became concerned that the American military not be seen as unnecessarily brutal, as, quote, shooting fleeing Iraqis in the back. They wanted to avoid this perception.
So the president and the general began to consider a ceasefire. The sands of Desert Storm were shifting.